Okay. Now for the trap cards, the last part of the 5D starter deck. I'm going to start off with miniaturize. You can only activate this card on a monster with 1,000 or more original attack points, but it lowers. Sorry, another little problem. It lowers that monster's attack by 1,000, and it lowers its level. Of course, you can use this on your own monsters, which, if you happen to need like a lower level, one less level than you have to synchro summon, just play miniaturize. If your monster's got a high enough attack points, which is the only catch, it's got to have 1,000 or more attack points, which is pretty simple with some of the cards in this deck, but with others it's not that simple. Spellbinding Circle, I think almost everyone knows what this card does. Basically, stops a monster from attacking as long as this card's on the field. I personally would probably replace this, though, with Shadow Spell. Shadow Spell, because of its minus 700 ability as well, which is really nice. That's Birthright. It's an interesting take on the Call of the Haunted type of card. Basically, it's got the same effect as Call of the Haunted, only it's only capable of bringing back normal monsters from the graveyard instead of any monster. But still, it's a pretty decent card, I must admit, but it can probably be replaced with Call of the Haunted or something, Trap Hole, there's a bunch of variations of Trap Hole. Here they're just giving you kind of the basic, oh, I'm a Trap Hole. Oh, you fell on me, you're gonna die now. Sorry, I'm just a little out of it still. It's starting to get to me bad now. Basically, yeah, destroy any monster that's summoned that has 1,000 attack points or more, as long as the monster's normal summon. So, they happen to summon like Junk Synchron or Spiral Serpent. Well, I'm saying that if you're playing against, this deck. Use this and they're rid of that monster for a while unless they use like Call of, or Symbol of Duty or, Birthright or something like that, Sakuretsu Armor, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Destroy a monster that declared, activate only when your opponent declares an attack. Destroy that monster. Personally, I love using this card. It's kind of fun to use because, your opponent, especially if you don't, show any signs that, you have a card like that face down, it's really nice to use, because you get to get rid of a monster that attacks, which is really nice. But it's not as good as what's going to be at the end of this. We've got Threatening Roar. Your opponent cannot declare any attacks this turn. Basically, it's pretty nice. If they summon a big monster and you need, an extra turn or something, they do something. Threatening Roar is kind of nice because it stops them from being able to even declare an attack that turn, so you don't have to worry about activating cards like Spellbinding Circle or something, so you can save them for later. Backup Soldier. If you got 5 or more monsters in your graveyard, you can bring 3 normal monsters with 1,500 attack or less back into your hand. It's actually kind of easy to use in this deck. I mean, there's a decent number of normal monsters that have 1,500 or less attack. But yeah, basically other than that, it's a pretty decent card. I would probably keep it in. I might not, depending on what mood I'm in for that card, anyways. Divine Wrath. Discard 1 card from your hand when an opponent's monster activates its effect. Negate that monster's effect and destroy it. Pretty simple, especially if your opponent's activating a card effect like Junk Synchrons, or something else like that. That's kind of that's not good for you, because they'll be able to summon a monster, they'll be able to destroy a card or something like that. Use Divine Wrath, and you won't have to worry about that. 7 Tools of the Bandit is kind of a classic. Just pay 1,000 life points to negate the activation of a trap card and destroy it. It's actually really good against the last card I'm gonna review or kind of do a quick overlook on, which is also the next card. It really helped me once, actually. I mean, sure, you have to pay 1,000 life points to do it. And I mean, you could, use Mystical Space Typhoon or something to get rid of cards as well. But this also, because Mystical Space Typhoon doesn't negate the card, it just destroys it. But 7 Tools of the Bandit negates it and destroys it, only at the cost of 1,000 life points. But still, that's actually a pretty decent card. And the last trap card in this deck is actually, it's fun to use, but it's also really annoying if it's used against you. And it is called Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Now, what this card does is it negates the attack, it negates a monster's attack. But instead of being sent to the graveyard when it's activated, it's flipped back face down, so you can use it again and again and again, unless it's destroyed by a card effect. It's really good. It's really kind of fun to use, because you can stop your opponent from attacking as long as it's on the field, and it can kind of, bug your opponent, though, get on their nerves a bit. And, some downsides to it is it doesn't leave unless it's destroyed, so it's kind of, you basically got 4 spell and trap zones once you set a Scrap Iron Scarecrow. But and it'll probably also be one of the first targets of an opponent's card destroying, magic or trap destroying cards. So yeah, but other than that, it's actually a pretty decent card. And that is the end. That is all the cards that are in the 5D starter deck. Now, I'm going to put my cards up because I like to keep it in the box I bought it, actually, because I like keeping my cards nice and organized. If you'd like me to, just a sec. If you would like me to do a more in-depth review of one of the cards that I used, not that I used, but that I reviewed, kind of did a quick overview on, email me or, throw me a message, and I'll get around to doing that. So, this has been Protofiend, and I want to apologize again for the poor audio quality and video quality, but, I don't have that great of a laptop. Other than that, I hope you found this to be kind of useful, kind of see if you really want to buy the 5D's starter deck or not. Personally, I thought it was kind of an interesting deck. It kind of works out well. But, yeah, I mean,